Hi everyone, welcome to episode 9 of Life in Lockdown. Today it is my pleasure to introduce you to Janine Rosche. Good morning, Janine.
Rosche.
Morning,
Rosche.
Rosche. There we
Yes,
go.
yes. But everybody says Roche, so I kind of get used to it. Yeah.
Rosche. There we go. Janine Rosche.
Yes.
So it's morning. It is a Monday morning in New Zealand, which makes it what where you are.
It is 4:47 in the afternoon on Sunday.
On Sunday.
So we are getting ready to have pizza for dinner because we're fancy.
Nice, nice. I feel like I'm about to
Right.
sneeze. If I sneeze, I'm going to have to do the good old elbow thing. So Janine is the author of upcoming contemporary romances from Berkeley. This Wandering Heart is her first one, which releases on May 5th. You want to show us? Come on, show us, Janine. There we go. Look at that beauty. So yeah, coming up on May 5th, her first book, This Wandering Heart, and then it's going to be followed by 2 others, one in October and one in January next year. So she's releasing a whole series in 8 months. So as you know, the series is about chatting to different authors about what their life is like under the COVID-19 restrictions and what they're working on and what writing they're doing. So Janine, do you want to tell people a little bit about where you are, what kind of COVID-19 related restrictions you're living under, and what I guess the big differences are about your life now versus a few months ago?
Okay. So I live in Northwest Ohio. So I am middle of the country and I'm up by the Great Lakes, and I'm about a football kick away from the Michigan state line. And we're pretty well locked down here. Ohio is taking this very seriously. Our governor and the director of the Department of Health have become like rock stars in our state. And my friend just got a dog and named it after our governor. There are some people who are protesting down at the State House, but we're happy with all the measures that they're taking. We're pretty much staying home, other than an occasional run through the Chick-fil-A drive-through or Papa John's pickup for pizza, or a grocery store run. So we're pretty much locked down in our house. I have 4 kids and they are all in school. So I have had to suddenly start homeschooling them, like most parents, but I'm terrible. I'm really disorganized. And so my poor first grade daughter is 2 weeks behind on all of her work, because you can't just send the first grader off to go do her own thing.
No.
You have to teach her every single thing. And how do you teach math? 6 + 6 is 12. You just memorize it. That's just how it is. So that has been tough, trying to get more writing done. I'm trying to think towards the next series, and it's really hard imagining first kisses and meet cutes and things like that when you're helping a first grader come up with 6 + 6 = 12. So it's been interesting.
So I know in some places the rest of the school year has been cancelled, and in others they're kind of waiting and seeing. What's your situation?
We're canceled for the rest of the school year. Our family vacation has been canceled. Our camps have been canceled. We are slowly going to start opening up, I think, in the middle of May, but it's not going to be quick at all. We are going to take it. Ohio is being very cautious.
Yeah.
To try to not overwhelm the hospital systems and all that. So every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., we all sit down and watch the governor's press conference. So it's that's just what we've all done. We have all this state pride suddenly where we're all coming together and yay, Ohio. So I have an entire summer coming up where I'm going to have to try to write while, having the kids around. So
we
make it work.
We have the same here. So we have our Director General of Health is a gentleman called Dr. Ashley Bloomfield. There is now an official Twitter fan club for him called The Bloomers. And every day at 1:00, him or his deputy and the Prime Minister or her deputy appear for a press conference, and it's the most watched thing where they give, all the updates on all the numbers and all the decisions.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are very taken with Dr. Ashley.
Yeah.
I feel reasonably sure that New Zealand may well see an influx of baby Ashleys in the next 7 to 9 months.
Right.
Oh. So, apart from 4 kids being at home 24/7, and I only have 3, so I'm trying to imagine a 25% bonus on top of what I've got.
Right.
Has much else changed for you? Do you usually work at home, or what about your husband?
Well, my husband typically works in a different city during the week. He works down in Columbus, and so it's been nice having him here. My kids actually get to see him during the week, and I get to see him. Has been harder we don't have the same like Netflix tastes, and so trying to find shows to watch at night after the kids go to bed, it's been tough. Although we did watch a Chris Helmsworth movie last night. It was pretty good. It was good.
What was that called?
Oh, it was called Extraction. I don't necessarily recommend it because it was gory. It was probably the goriest movie I've ever watched. But yeah, it had just a little bit of heart, enough for me to be really, really into it. And then it had all the action. So yeah. So it's nice having him home. I work from home. I teach from home. I teach for the University of Colorado, but because I now live in Ohio, I have to teach online anyway.
Yeah.
So just trying to, help my students through this strange time. But it is something, even the fact that I'm talking to you and you're in New Zealand and we're able to have, we're all going through the same experience together. Yeah. I think if there's any positive to be found, it's that we're all understanding where everybody else is coming from right now. I think that's kind of not cool, but it's the best we can do in this time.
Well, and I think that, especially for kids, and you think about, seniors particularly who are missing so much this year. I was talking to one of my friends the other day who's in New Zealand. Her daughter's in her last year of what is primary school here, and due to transition into her new school next year, and how her daughter was really sad, about all the things she's missing out on. And one of the things we're talking about is that at least the rest of the world has stopped with you, so it's not, in a situation where, for instance, a kid is really sick, all of their peers are moving on without them while they're in hospital or at home or whatever their situation may be. Whereas there's a lot of, I guess, in a sense, comfort that, not that everyone's going through the same thing because everyone's situations are so completely different, but that everyone's living under the same kind of restrictions. Because there is, everyone gets it.
Exactly.
And, we're all at home eating way too many comfort carbs because
exactly.
95% of what we would usually do is diminished into our kind of 4 walls.
Yeah. But what I think is interesting is there is going to be an entire year-long group of children who never take the growing and changing sexuality education class.
Oh, yeah.
Because for us, that's 5th grade, and my son is in 5th grade. And it's so funny, in my day job, I am a certified instructor in that. That's one of the many things that I'm, in just the field of family life education.
Yeah.
I don't want to teach that to my son. So just imagine that this group of children who were all born in 2009, 2010, just watch out, world, because they're not going to know anything that's going on. We're going to have to bring back after school specials to try to teach them some of those basic things. Oh, goodness. Maybe they'll have to go back to that in high school, I guess. Health class is going to be very important to that group of kids.
Teachers will be like, oh, we know what year you came from. Your parents abdicated this part of the curriculum.
Yes. And no nobody has mentioned that. Like no parents have said, hey, does anybody have curriculum for that? Like nobody wants to homeschool teach that. So yeah, that'll be the next Zoom lesson.
There we go.
I'll get some models in here and pictures and, bring all the fifth graders to the computer screen.
Well, no, you could do it and then just send it out to all the other parents and they could just be like, here, Mrs. Rosche has a lesson for you.
I'm not even sure I understand all of how all of that works. So I'm probably not the best person to ask about that.
Oh, all right.
What were we talking about?
We went down a rabbit hole, but it was fun. So tell us a little bit about your books and your journey to publication, since This Wandering Heart is your first book baby.
Okay.
And yeah, just a little bit about your experience trying to, I guess, navigate debut author world in the middle of a global pandemic.
Okay. So I have only been writing for probably about 5 years, and I had written a long time ago. I was trying to make it as a mommy blogger and more biblical teacher, and then eventually just shelved that when I went back to work. And it wasn't until a spring break where I had caught up on all of my grading, and I was either going to paint a canvas, or, which I'm not a very good artist, I don't know what in my head made me think, oh, I could just paint this. Or I could pick up a story that I had started, I think, the week after I finished reading Redeeming Love. Because why wouldn't you automatically think you could write a great story after reading Redeeming Love? Of course, I could do that. Not like it's one of the most amazing books ever written. So I had started a story and I just couldn't get it out of my head. So I decided to write it down. And then I put it out on Facebook and said, hey, I just have a story. Does anybody want to read it? And I had about 85 of my friends say, sure, I'll give it a try. And so every week I would put up a new chapter of this horribly written story. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand anything about writing or Christian fiction. I mean, it was definitely an inspirational story, but it crossed some lines too, because I didn't know where the boundaries were. And but if my model was redeeming love, it probably makes sense why I didn't quite know where the appropriate boundaries were. But it had the bones of a really good story. And so after I finished that, those friends were really encouraging to me. And yes, obviously I needed to learn a lot these past few years, but they've kind of stood by me and cheered me on. So this is just as much a victory for that group of friends, and it makes me appreciate them all the more, because I never even imagined that I would be capable of writing a book. So this has been really fun. My series is set on the Madison River in Montana, so just west of Yellowstone National Park, just across the state line from Wyoming. And it's a place I kind of grew up going to visit with my family, and I would go and watch my dad and my brother fly fish on the Madison River. And I'm not a big fisherwoman, and so I would sit and like suntan on the banks and would kind of imagine all these romantic things. It's such a romantic setting. And so this was, if I was ever going to write a story, this was where I wanted to set it. Just right there, nestled in the mountains, and it's just gorgeous. Everywhere you look, it's a mural is really what it is. So that's where I got started. And I got my agent. I'm with Tamily Hancock Murray of the Steve Lobby Agency, and she is the most encouraging, wonderful person ever to know in this industry. And just out of the blue one day, there was a Twitter pitch party. It was Faith Pitch, and I put this book out there and got a like from an editor at Berkeley Romance. And a few weeks later, I think it was 3 weeks later, I had an offer for a contract. So it was whirlwind and crazy, but exciting crazy. And now in a little over a week, I'll have well, I don't know when this will go live, but May 5th is when the book will come out. So it's been unexpected, but really exciting.
And what has been your favorite part of the process, and what has been the most, I guess, unexpected or surprising part?
Okay, so by far the best part of this is getting to know the other authors. When I first started writing, I knew no one, and people have been so welcoming and accepting. Authors have let me stalk them, become obsessed with their characters. Everybody everybody on the internet who knows me knows my obsession with Ty Porter, for Becky Wade's Porter Family series, and Riley Callahan from Denise Hunter's Summer Harbor series. I mean, I just drew a picture of him and posted it on her page yesterday. So she has been very understanding of my obsession for her characters, and I mean, it has been so much fun and so encouraging, going to conferences and getting to know all these other people and being able to encourage them with their work and cheer them on as they cheer me on. It's just been a really cool environment that I haven't seen in a lot of other industries that I've been a part of. So it's been fun.
I remember talking about Ty and Celia. I still remember messaging Becky Wade after that book released, and I read it and I was like, Becky, you use the word libido in Christian fiction, and I am watching to see what the reaction is. Because if there's none, then we'll know that the boundary has been moved a little bit.
Yes.
And if there is, then I'll know that there's places that even Becky Wade can't go.
Right, exactly. But, I'm sure Ty Porter was able to just smooth those reviewers and critics, and they were like, oh, it's Ty Porter.
It's true.
We'll let that one slide.
Oh, just let him slide. And what has been the most unexpected or surprising thing about the process?
I guess just how it all came to be. And also just not knowing, like, I don't pretend to be the most knowledgeable person about really any topic other than, Outlander or, nachos. Like, I could talk for days on those things, but book publishing, like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so, it's been neat getting to know the different people from my team at Berkeley and what they all do. And every time I send a note about marketing or publicity, Brittany or Farida have to send it to the other one because they're like, this isn't my job. This is a marketing question. I still don't know the difference between the two, but it's a good problem to have people that are, behind you and want to make sure that your book's a success. So it's been fun. Although I did get to go to New York City and for the Romance Writers of America conference, and I got to go in the Penguin Random House building, and I felt so like my spine straightened. I was so proud of myself, and then I couldn't figure out how to open up the door to get out, and I had to interrupt a couple who was talking and ask them how you open up the door. So it humbled me. It let me know that I am not and will never be big stuff. I still don't know how to open up doors to get out of buildings. So yeah, that's been unexpected. But good, I guess.
Yeah, I was meant to go to that conference last year in New York, and I was really excited, but life ended up being a little bit different. So I am very jealous because, like, one of my plans when I was there was to get to go visit Simon & Schuster, who were my publishers at the time. My thing is, when I'm in the States, constantly getting people frowning at me because of the left-right thing. So, like, we're opposite. So, and I could, so in New York, given that it's so busy and populated, I could just totally see myself just veering left when everyone else is veering that way in the opposite direction and just causing
right.
Mass human interaction, shall we say. So, final two questions for you.
Okay.
What do you miss the most right now, and what is keeping you sane right now?
So I am definitely missing seeing people out and about. I'm a pretty extreme extrovert, and so I love the chance to just chat with people. They probably don't love it. They probably I think I'm the person that if people see me in a store and they recognize me, they probably turn down the other aisle real quick because I'm a talker. But I miss that. I miss just chatting with people. And I was joking the other day, I was at the grocery store wearing my mask, and it was really bothering me that people couldn't tell that I was smiling at them. So I kept raising my eyebrows really high to like an exaggerated smile, because I don't know, I miss chatting with people. And my kids are great, my husband's great, but I mean, my poor dogs, they're just go to a coffee shop, get out of here, you are driving us crazy with how much I'm just all over them and just needing that social interaction. Even this, I'm can we just keep this going? Let's just keep chatting for hours.
Just make it a 90-minute special.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Everybody will love watching that. So that's what I miss. And then what was your other question?
What's keeping you sane right now?
Oh, well, I just read. I'm a really slow reader. And so I feel bad. I don't feel like I'm very well read. It takes me forever to read a story, but I just read a really exciting one by Janine Rosche. And it's called Wide Open. I'll try to find the cover of it. And it's a short story, and it's free on her website. And I just sat in my swing outside we have a pond in the backyard. Oh. And I just,
isn't that
such an intriguing cover?
Cover.
Yeah. And so I just sat and I read that. It took me 2 hours because, again, I'm a really slow reader, but it's really not that long. But it's a romantic suspense, and it was set during the blizzard of 1967. And this woman and this man who had been childhood friends and had, those crushes on each other way back when, kind of get quarantined together because of this blizzard. So it takes place over the span of about a day or two. And it was kind of a fun little, there's little elements of danger, and can she trust them, and can he trust her? And it was an exciting story. So that kept me sane today. So that was good. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining me on Life in Lockdown.
Thank you so much.
Now, everyone, Janine, because you're extra lucky today, is going to be giving away a signed copy of This Wandering Heart.
Yes.
And she is also giving away, look at this beautiful magnet.
Try not to drag this off of here. Okay, so one of the other things that has kept me sane is I have been buying tons of stuff off of the internet. And it's probably not very culturally respectful for me to be buying things when other people need to be buying things like toilet paper. So I might be really immoral for doing this, but I have been buying tons of stuff off of the internet. That's just really cool. One of the places I love is this company called Natural Life, and they make these tapestry blankets that are super soft.
Oh, look at that. Always remember that you are braver than you believe, smarter than you think, and loved more than you'll ever know.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
And it is the most soft blanket, and for someone in the United States, if you're outside of the United States, I will still send you a copy of the book. But I think it would be too hard for me to send the blanket. So if you're in the United States.
I think we just talked about earlier about how one of my poor readers tried to send me Oreos and got told it would be $97 in postage. So people outside of America, of which I am one, we love you, but postage is proper bonkers. So
yes. So you can, I'll send a picture
it.
of me using your blanket, your beautiful tapestry blanket. But if you're in the United States, I will send you that blanket and a signed copy. And all that you have to do to be entered is answer the question, when this crazy time is over, where is the one place that you would just love to travel? It can be anywhere you've ever wanted to go. It can be realistic, or it can be just something fun you'll probably never actually get to see, because in This Wandering Heart, my heroine is she's a secret travel blogger, and she loves the open road, and her dream is to host a television TV show where she gets to just travel all over the world. And luckily, she has a super handsome man who is willing to help her make her dream come true. So it's an on-the-road romance, which is probably my favorite trope. So I want you to imagine where you would want to go on a trip after all of this craziness is over. And if you answer that question, you'll be entered in to win.
All right, there we go, everyone. Thank you so much for your time today, Janine. It
Thanks
was
for having me.
Chatting to you. And you'll know what you want to do. Oh my gosh, I've just totally fallen over my words. I made it 99% of the way through this. To enter to win an advance signed copy of This Wandering Heart and that beautiful blanket if you're in the US, or just the book if you're not in the US, comment below and I will draw a winner on Sunday night. Thanks, Janine.
Thank you.